Hi, my name's Tim German. I'm the executive chef here at Eddie Merlot's. We're going to be showing everybody how to prepare the food for our Open Your Hearts event. So to get started, you're going to have some sides right here, our mashed potatoes and our steamed broccoli. First thing we're going to do is just get these popped right in the oven. So that way, whenever our steak and salmon are cooked, we're going to have everything ready at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and pop these in the oven. It's 350 degrees and get those started. Now that I've got our mashed potatoes and broccoli in the oven, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a saute pan heating up. I'm not going to put any oil or anything in here. We want to make sure this is not a non-stick pan because we do want to get this very hot. So as I let that heat up, I'm going to take our filet mignon here and I'm going to season it liberally with our kosher salt and black pepper on both sides. At home, you might want to let this heat up for about 5 minutes. I recommend you keeping yours up all the way the entire time. All right, so we're just going to set this right in our skillet there. I can already hear it starting to sizzle. We're going to leave this here for about 4 to 5 minutes without touching it, without doing anything. The fat that's in the steak is actually going to cook, and that's why we don't need any oil there. The next thing we're going to get started is our salmon. Here I have our pre-charred cedar plank, which you're going to get with your meal. We're going to go ahead and season this, salt and pepper on both sides. Just place that right back down. And then we've got our Southern Comfort barbecue sauce here. We're going to go ahead and give this a nice liberal glaze. So now that we've got this coated, we're going to go ahead and just get this in the oven, again 350 degrees. If you do have a convection fan, I definitely would recommend having that on for this cooking process. All right, so our filet has been searing for about 5 minutes now. We should get a nice golden brown on there. I'm going to go ahead and flip this. I like to make sure I flip it to a different part of the pan than it was in, just so we get a nice contact, and we're going to get a nice color on this side as well. Now that we've flipped our filet, we're going to go ahead and just put a pat of butter right on top of there, and we're going to get this in the oven. If you do have an oven-safe saute pan, I would recommend leaving it in that saute pan to get in the oven. If you don't have anything, you could go ahead, put it on a sheet tray. I'd recommend having that sheet tray in the oven before you actually throw the filet on there, so that way you continue to create that crust that we were talking about. Our next step is going to be for our vegetarian dish. We've got our pasta water right here. I like to make sure that we add a good amount of salt to this. I'd say a couple tablespoons for every half gallon of water would be good. So now that we've got this nice and hot, we've got our portion of butternut squash ravioli. We're just gonna go ahead and drop these in the water for about 4 minutes. If you don't have a pasta basket like this, you can just go ahead, throw them right into the pot, and then dump them into a colander whenever you're done. While we're doing that, we're going to take our brown butter sauce, and very gently, we want to heat this over a low flame. If you heat it fast, it's going to look a little bit oily. So we're heating that nice and gently. All right, so after your 4 minutes with your ravioli, pull these out. Just give them a nice shake there to drain off any excess water. And put them right in there with your brown butter sauce. All right, what we're gonna do is go ahead and give this a nice little toss to coat all these ravioli nice and evenly. And then we're just gonna go ahead and lower the flame just to keep these nice and warm. So now we've got our ravioli, everything's nice and hot, nice and glazed. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and start plating this up. Just gonna take our ravioli, get whatever bowl we're serving it in, Get those in there, nice coated. Get that last little bit of sauce on there. And then to finish this off, we've got some crumbled goat cheese. So we're just gonna go ahead and sprinkle as much of that on there as you like. We've had the sides in the oven for about 15 minutes now. We're gonna go ahead and give those a check, make sure they're warm. So we've got our mashed potatoes, we've got our broccoli. All we have left to do, we're gonna go ahead and season up our broccoli. And then add a little bit of butter on top here, however much to your liking. And then we're gonna do the mashed potatoes. We're just gonna add a little bit of butter to these. So we're gonna let this butter melt just a little bit. It's a nice hot pan here, so it shouldn't take too long. Then we're gonna go ahead and pull our proteins out of the oven. Our filet, we're looking at about 8 to 10 minutes in the oven to get it to a medium rare. For every temperature above that, you're gonna wanna add about 2 minutes. So about 10 minutes for a medium, 12 for a mid-well, and 14 or a little bit longer for your well done. And the salmon, if you're looking for a medium well, you're looking at about 12 minutes for that. Since we didn't sear it first, it does take a little bit longer than the filet would. So first we got our filet. All right, what we wanna do is we're gonna let this rest. We wanna cover it with foil. I have my foil pan right here from the broccoli. So I'm just gonna go ahead, cover this up. So our salmon coming out of the oven, nice and glazed. If you like to, brush a little bit more of this barbecue on there. Adds a really nice sweet flavor to it. And then I have mine in a squirt bottle, but you could just use a ramekin or a spoon. We're gonna go ahead and put our roasted garlic aioli on there. Our steak is nice and rested. See that really nice char there? We've got a really nice seasoning as well. We're gonna go ahead, now that it's rested, you'll see that little bit of juice that came out. All that's left to do is sit down and enjoy.